guys, so we are in front of my window right now because I'm at my desk for this video because I'm going to do a share screen of a screen recording of my computer because I feel like it's important for you to see what I'm talking about. I'm going to be talking about Tom MacDonald and his raps and what I think about them and why I think his brand of rap is so dangerous. So I was inspired because I had heard of Tom MacDonald before. I had heard some of his like non-political raps and I had heard the song No Lives Matter and immediately hated it. But more so than that, on one of my Amanda Ensing videos, somebody commented that I should listen to Fake Woke by Tom MacDonald, and I had actually already listened to the song. And then my friend and I were talking about him the other day, actually it was yesterday. My friend sent me a Vosh video where he went through the Fake Woke lyrics and talked about them, and I actually told her that I was thinking about making this video, and so she encouraged me to do it. This is a little strange for me, but it felt right, so it's my channel, I can do whatever I want. If you're new here, I am a liberal snowflake. I believe in Black Lives Matter. I believe in gay rights. I am a hardcore feminist. So you will kind of get an idea of the place I'm coming from. I am also a white woman, so I'm coming from this, from I guess a fellow white Canadian, because if you don't know who Tom MacDonald is, he is a white rapper who was born in Canada. I believe he lives in LA now. I did a little quick Google search and that's what Google told me, so we're gonna go with that. And I wanted to talk about his music. I am not musically inclined. I'm not here to dissect like his flow and the beats and stuff. We're here to talk lyrics from a critical perspective. If you want to see kind of my thoughts on Tom MacDonald and his music, keep watching. Subscribe to my channel up every Tuesday and Thursday, and I couldn't tell you what my channel is about at this point. I make makeup content, I make content about commentary, I don't know, this anti-Republican content, I guess. I started making videos about Amanda Ensing, who is a right-wing YouTuber, and it's kind of flown me into this section of the internet where Republicans leave hate comments on my videos, and I'm okay with it. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first song that I was introduced to him with was the song No Lives Matter, and I wanted to go through that first because I think it's important. It starts with hip hop died, it's full of guys who can't even rap. Facts. Media dividing us by colors, white or black. Facts. If you believe in Jesus these days, Christians get attacked. Facts. If you don't hate police, then everybody thinks you're whack. So already I'm feeling strong right-wing views here, because if you believe in Jesus these days, Christians get attacked. Nobody is attacking Christians for believing in Jesus. They're attacking Christians for trying to force those views onto other people. Like, I am not a religious person. I was never raised religious, so I don't know a lot about religion. But what I do know about religion is what I've seen from people trying to force it onto the other. There is a separation of state and church in America and Canada. I'm Canadian. The issue is that people don't want to have to live their life and have laws governed by Jesus. Something that may or may not exist. To you it may exist, to me it does not. And that's okay, you're allowed to have that belief, but you don't get to tell me how to live my life based on your beliefs. So we're already getting strong. Also, if you don't hate police, everybody thinks you're whack. I mean, ACAB is all I have to say to that. Everything's so, this is where I'm already off, but like this is where I get a little angry. Everything's so connected. Black Lives Matter got so aggressive. White folks who agree can't support the message. Both sides go to war because they don't respect it. So I really don't like the implication that Black Lives Matter got aggressive, because I don't think it got aggressive. There were riots, sure. There were some lootings. I wouldn't even call them riots. There were some lootings, but things didn't really get aggressive until the police started getting aggressive, because Black people were fighting for their rights and the police don't like that. And also, it's interesting that he talks about how the media divides us, but then isn't smart enough to think about the fact that the media is the one that's only showing you the looting. They're not showing you the peaceful protests. So yeah, the media is dividing us, and this rap right here is you feeding into that division by saying that Black Lives Matter got arrested. Also, let me just say, I'm a white folk. and I happily agree with Black Lives Matter. I have no problem supporting the message based on what, a Target getting set on fire? Fuck Target. I don't care about corporations. Black lives are more important than corporations. Our social climate, from the global tension turned to violence and whole depression. We could unify and then all go against them, but let them divide us with votes and elections. So this is what I think personally is dangerous about Tom MacDonald. In his music, he makes some valid points, like they divide us with votes and elections. And yes, that's true. The media does divide us. There is, like, you know, I personally don't love the government. Unlike Trump supporters, I don't worship Republican or Democratic public figures, or in Canada, liberal figures. But at the same time, the whole like unify thing is like, how can I be expected to tell Black people and gay people and other minority groups to unify with people who literally don't believe that they deserve rights? Like, there is a difference between difference of opinions and trying to take away someone's human rights. And I don't think it's fair to ask people to unify with somebody who doesn't believe they deserve rights. This also, the music we bump, all about shooting and doing drugs. The things that we want are promoted subliminally through the songs, like you need a fast car, you need designer clothes, you need a rap star, to tell you to start popping pills, hit the blunt, go live at the club till you're broke, convincing them right to fight with the left and distract us from the fact that, distract from the fact that it's each other we need, divided by religion, segregated into teams. You're a white supremacist. If you're not, I guess you're Antifa. So, a lot to unpack here. The first part of it really feels to me like he is saying that hip hop as a genre isn't doing enough for Black Lives Matter. And I think that I'm really sick of white people trying to act like Black people, like every Black person must spend every waking moment of their life talking about Black Lives Matter. Like, Black rappers are allowed to rap about whatever the fuck they want to rap about. You chose to be a political rapper, and I don't think it's fair to attack other rappers for not rapping about politics. And also, it's a little bit ridiculous for you to critique hip-hop culture, which is what you're doing here, when you're literally profiting off of hip-hop culture, Black culture, while being kind of I would call them microaggressive. Screaming from the rooftops, beat down, battered, turn us on each other, now no lives matter. If we're gonna do that, what the news wants, blood gonna splatter, turn on each other, no lives matter. So like, again, this is what's dangerous about this, is that it's like microaggressions and anti-Black sprinkled into a song that has some fair points. Like, sure, the media does try to divide us. Sure, the government does try to divide us. Sure, as a country, America is divided, but I also think that you could talk about division without shitting on Black people. Freedom's dead. If you have an opinion, take it back. People hate the president. If you don't, then you're trash. Like, which side are you on here? Because, like, yeah, if you don't hate Donald Trump, you are trash. Sorry. Indoctrinate the nation using news and mainstream rap. Also, like, what about mainstream rap is indoctrinating the nation? You just criticized them for rapping about cars. Government abuses us, it's all part of the plan. Okay, sure, fair. And then here, it's so confusing. Black Lives Matter is a valuable movement, but all lives matter ain't racist or stupid. It's non-Black humans who don't feel included. All colors fall under the laws that govern the whole country, and we all suffer. We're all broke, and nobody recovers until we accept that we're all brothers. All lives matter is racist. Sure, it might be white people who feel excluded, but like, why do you need to feel oppressed? Why, in order to support someone else's movement, do you need to be oppressed? I always give the example of, when I say save the rainforest, nobody says, whoa, whoa, all forests matter. Do you want to burn down forests that aren't the rainforest? No, nobody says that, because you are able to think about the fact that, okay, every other forest is doing okay, but the rainforests are in danger, so we should support the rainforests. But as humans, we can't empathize with somebody who's it's very white fragility. Like, we can't accept that Black people need our support. No one is saying white lives don't matter. It's very clear in society that they do. Black people aren't saying kill all the white people. They're saying, hey guys, I don't know if you've noticed this, but we're getting murdered in the street by police. We are being incarcerated at higher rates. You know, we have been dealing with systems of oppression for like our entire lives. Could you like help us out? And instead you're complaining. Then this, again, here we are going back to kind of critiquing hip hop culture, which is like rich. The music we make is all about big booties and getting paid. We watch the news and it fills our brains with violence, riots, and race. This is a race war. You need to hate more, get what you came for. You need some songs about Xanax and violence so you can escape more, which like there is nothing wrong with escapism. And it's not music's job to change the world. That's what we have activists for. Like, what a vicious cycle we can't break away from. They control the culture, they control the paper, they're indoctrinating a whole generation till the patriots start to hate the nation. And like, we're allowed, like, I don't like the idea that like you can't critique the government or like you hate the nation. Like, America is in a place right now where a lot of people are not proud of it. So you guys have that whole freedom of speech thing where you're allowed to critique the nation. The music we love makes us dumb and addicted. The news that we watch is brainwashing the children. The viruses, riots, and racist conditions ain't problems. They're symptoms of this life in the system. And we've got the chorus again. And then the music will make you dumb. The media makes you hate and control them both. There ain't no escape. They put the world in a state of chaos. Economy crashing and massive layoffs. Black against white, or it's left versus right. Divide and conquer and control is the payoff. Like, just like, I understand, like, this is, again, this is what's dangerous, is like, even I, as a very liberal, left-leaning feminist, can look at this and be like, there's some parts that, like, I'm like, okay, yeah, the government is trash and they do control and oppress the poor, but it's also, like, complaining about, like, what are you doing to change it, Tom MacDonald, besides writing this shitty rap? I just really hate that this is, I hate this. Let's move on to fake woke. So when someone commented on my video and told me to listen to the song, I had already listened to it, and like after the first line, I wanted to blow my brains out because this is how it starts. It's crazy I'm the one labeled as controversial as Cardi B, and Cardi B is a role model for 12-year-old girls. Oh, so we're gonna kickstart it with some sexism right off the hop. Great, my favorite brand. Again, you're in rap. Hip hop has, you know, male hip hop stars have sexualized women for like most of hip hop, and like that's not to say anything against hip hop. That's how it, I mean, most genres were like this. Everyone is singing about girls. I always complain to my husband because all of his punk songs are about like murdering girls, and I'm like, do you have a song that's not about killing a girl? Like, because that would be great for me. So like that's just like male music in general in the past. But why is he so mad that Cardi B is, let's be real, he's mad that Cardi B is singing about her WAP. That's what he's mad about. It's what everyone's mad about. Again, I'm getting strong Republican views from this, but he does a very good job of like disguising it. And I was talking to my friend and I was like, I don't know if he is a troll who wrote, because he got famous off a song called Straight White Male, which I might dissect in a different video. So I'm not sure if he, you know, is just like sprinkling in controversial and like trendy words, and like it got him lots of views, so he just kept doing it because he, I don't know if I mentioned this, but he's an independent artist. He just releases songs on YouTube and Spotify. So I'm not sure if that's what started this. Like, I don't know if he believes this stuff, but either way, what he's spreading out there is toxic, because there's nothing wrong with Cardi B taking her sexuality in her own hands, and also it's not Cardi B's job to parent people's 12-year-old children. The rapper's pushing Xanax at the top of the billboard, but if I mention race in a song, I'm scared I'll get killed for it. Okay, here's the issue with this. I don't think you actually are scared you'll get killed for it. I think you're being a little dramatic. But here's the thing. As a white person, you can mention race in a rap if you're supporting the Black Lives Movement. Your job as a white person is to be an ally. It's to amplify Black voices. It's to listen to Black voices and to support their causes. It's not to complain that your life is hard because you're the most privileged group in America. I've listened to your other raps. You apparently have millions of dollars. So like, it's not like you're, like, what are you oppressed by? Being white in hip hop? Yeah, like I guess you're technically a minority there, but like Eminem kind of broke that barrier for you. And like if you weren't rapping about being oppressed, people in hip hop probably wouldn't hate you for it, just saying. It's more difficult to get a job than purchase a gun. That's fair. This is a line that my husband and I we're discussing because we can't figure out what it's supposed to mean. Eminem used to gay bash and murder his mom, and now he doesn't want fans if they voted for Trump. Okay, yes. My husband was like, I don't think that, like, people on Twitter were like, oh, what a diss to Eminem, and I was like, and my husband was like, that's not, my husband was like, that's not a diss though, and I was like, no, it's not a diss to us, but I think it's supposed to be a diss. Like, I think he's trying to say Eminem got soft, but it's just like, it's called personal growth. We call that growth. And like, I'm confused. Also, I'm just confused about the whole basis of the song because he never, like, these lyrics don't explain what fake woke even means. Because, like, to me, fake woke are people who, like people who speak out and, like, believe in Black Lives Matter and believe in gay rights and feminism, and then, like, you find out behind closed doors they're, like, assaulting women or saying the N-word or doing the opposite. Like, that to me is fake woke. Or people who say, like, yeah, I believe in Black Lives Matter, but then when Black people tell them how they feel and what, you know, affects them, and then they go, that's not racist. Like, that's what I think fake woke is, but I don't, like, again, like, this doesn't make any sense. I think he just literally took a catchphrase word and titled his song to get views. Like, it doesn't correlate to me. We're ashamed to be American. You should probably love it because you have the right to say it and not get thrown in public. Like, just because you have basic human rights, white people, it doesn't mean that you have to love your country. Like, again, you can critique your, like, you can still be patriotic and critique your country and your government. And Black people don't really have the right to say a lot in public and not get murdered if you've been paying attention to the news. Children were taught how to walk and talk, but this wants adults to sit down and shut up. Like, I'm just confused because you literally just said you're allowed to say whatever you want, and now you're here saying that this doesn't want you to shut up. Like, his songs are so contradictory. Again, I just think he's just rhyming words and saying buzzwords. Cancel culture runs the world now. The planet went crazy. Little everything we say is homophobic or racist. Generally only if it is. If you're white, you're privileged, guilty by association. All our childhood heroes got Me Too'd or they're rapists. Okay, here's the thing. If you're white, you are privileged. No one, like, this is a very right-wing thing where they think that they are supposed to be ashamed of being white. Like, you're supposed to feel guilty for being white. But, like, nobody thinks that, like, you should be ashamed of being white because, like, you can't control that. But they're just saying that you need to recognize the systems that support you. I'm a white woman and I'm straight, so I have never been judged based on my sexual orientation or my skin color. I will never fully understand racism because it has never happened to me. And that is a privilege. It doesn't mean, like, a lot of people who grew up poor or struggled will be like, oh, well, like, you don't know my life, I didn't have privilege. But the issue is you did have privilege. You can still, like, grow up poor and be privileged for being white because that didn't affect you. Also, like, all our childhood heroes got Me Too'd or the rapists. Okay, like, and? Where are you going with this? Because, like, you just said, you label everything as like, you're talking about negative things that happened that, like, are frivolous, and then you're like, is this frivolous? Like, you think it's bad that, like, Bill Cosby got caught? That Harvey Weinstein got caught? I'm confused. They never freed the slaves. They realized that they don't need the chains. They gave us tiny screens. We think we should be free because we can't see the cage. Like, as a white man, how about you just don't talk about slavery. Just don't. Like, don't infer that you're enslaved, please, ever. Very Gina Carano vibes. And then right here, I actually didn't notice this, my best friend noticed this. It's like, they so fake woke, facts don't care about feelings. And she mentioned to me that facts don't care about your feelings is like a Ben Shapiro quote. So, cause I was talking to her and I was like, I'm getting right-wing vibes, but, like, I'm not sure. And she was like, he's literally quoting Ben Shapiro in this song. And I was like, oh, you're right. I didn't realize, like, I had heard Trump supporters say that before, but I didn't realize it was like a Ben Shapiro quote, and we know how Ben Shapiro feels. Okay, we're just gonna skip to this. It's crazy how the people are screaming facts, but they fake woke. Again, I don't know what that, like, and again, like, he literally screamed facts in his whole last song. Hate their neighbor because he wears a mask or he stays home, has a daughter, but his favorite artist says he slays hoes. Like, you can, You can respect women and like art that talks about fucking women. Like, picks her up from school, music slaps on the way home, censorship's an issue because they choose what they erase. Like, you're literally shit-talking people for listening to music that degrades women, but then saying that we can't censor people. There's a difference between hate speech and speech that you hate, and like, that's true, but I think that we have different definitions of that. I think Black Lives Matter was the stupidest name when the system's screwing everyone exactly the same. Okay, it's not. You're a white dude. You're not gonna get murdered in the streets by police officers. You're not gonna not get a job for being white. I mean, you have tattoos all over your face now, so you might get it for that, but like, to say that the system is screwing us all the same just shows your white privilege you previously mentioned that you don't understand, because it's literally not. This line right here made me twitch a little. I just want to spend Thanksgiving Day with food and family without being accused of celebrating Native casualties. Nobody? Again, no, who came to your house and said, how dare you? Like, did you post a Thanksgiving pic on Instagram and someone was like, wow, I can't believe you hate Native people and are celebrating their genocide? Like, that doesn't happen. Thanksgiving is, this is another like right-wing myth that we're like trying to take away their holidays or take the Christ out of Christmas. Like, it's, it's so ridiculous because this literally doesn't happen. We got so divided as black and white and political. Republicans are bigots, libtards if you're liberal. I also like that, like, for Republicans, the worst insult you could find was bigots, which is like awful. And then for liberals, it's libtards. Like, that's not even a real word and it has no meaning. It just means right-wing people hate us for being progressive. Like, I'm confused. There's riots in our streets and it's just getting worse. Y'all screaming defund the police. Y'all are genius for sure. They're underfunded already. They're way too busy to work. Order food and call the cops. See what reaches you first. Okay, I'm not sure if I have the time to explain to you how much money the police are given every year in America and in Canada also. Like, you don't get to say they're already underfunded and overworked just because they don't show up for your fucking emergency. That's different. Those are two different things. They have like billion-dollar agendas every year. And you're comparing it to DoorDash. Segregation ended. That's a lie in itself. That strategy to make us think we're trying to help. They knew that racism was hot. If they designed it to sell, we buy up every single box and divide us ourselves. Like, use violence to get peace and wonder why it's working, why it isn't working. You know, these people really have no historical knowledge of how revolutions have worked in the past, because I hate to break it to you, but there was violence involved. Stonewall, that helped get the gay people rights, was like day-long riots. Look up how the civil rights movement actually worked, not the beautiful fluffy version you learn in history class, because in order to get anything done in America, or most countries, you have to use the systems of the oppressor to speak to them. Politicians are for sale and someone always makes the purchase, but you and I can't afford it. Our democracy is worthless. See, these are little sprinkles of truth he gets in there that like most people could agree with if they're not rich. But like, also that's confusing because like he's like rich. If a man has a mental illness, call him crazy, say it silently. When the country's going crazy, we accept it as society. Get sick and take a pill. When the side effects get you high, you get addicted, like these rappers dying fighting with sobriety. Censoring the facts turns our children into idiots. They claim it's for our safety. I'll tell you what it really is. Removing information that empowers all the citizens. The truth doesn't damage points of view. They are legitimate. Again, like, some semblance of coherence there, but again, I don't really know. Like, yes, sure, but like, we are in the age of information now. The issue here is more so citizens who are only getting their news from one source, as opposed to using the plethora that is the internet and like doing research on news organizations and what their skew is. The truth doesn't damage points of view that are legitimate. They're trying to change, they're trying to change on men to on men and women. Like, again, these are things that aren't happening. How do we let them make praying a microaggression? Also, pretty sure microaggressions aren't against women, they're against black people. So like, again, you're just like, he's just throwing terms out here that sound pithy. Venom used to be the most righteous of fights, but these days it feels like they secretly hate guys. Sounds like a... Anyone hearing not all men? I'm hearing a not all men man right there. We don't hate men. Hi, feminist here. We just hate that, like, statistically, men are the ones perpetuating crimes against women. They're the ones who are, I don't know if you know this or not, but that government you've been shit talking about that keeps us down and keeps us separated, they're all white men. Did you miss that part? I don't know, like we just want equality. It's not, it's not hard. We want men to stop sexually assaulting us, and then their male friends to stop excusing it. But sure, we just hate men. It's just easier to say that than actually take accountability for the rest of your gender. Not all men. I don't trust anyone who bleeds for a week and don't die. I'm just kidding, but everything else I said is right. Like, were you just like itching for a rhyme there? Or like you just think that's funny? Like, it's very like 12-year-old boy funny. Also, I've already been recording for like half an hour, so I'm not gonna have a time to get through his song Cancelled, which I haven't even heard yet and have not read yet, but this is where we are. I just think that he's a dangerous kind of human white person because he makes some valid points, and I totally understand being like anti-government. You know, I listen to punk rock. I understand anti-government music, but there is a difference between being anti-government and then like also like you're basically, he says in here, he's basically anti-Black Lives Matter. He's talking about being oppressed as a white dude. And like, I have no sympathy for that. Like, instead of actually taking the time to learn about the causes you're shitting on, you're just regurgitating talking points from right-wing media. And it's further proved by when I was doing some research on him. He's like, you know, doing spots on Fox News, doing spots on shows on Fox News, being featured on right-wing online websites. So like, it's very clear to me what side he's on. And what's dangerous about this is the kind of stuff that can radicalize your regular people, because they hear it and go, well, yeah, I do agree with some stuff. And like, even me and my friend who are pretty liberal, we're like, yeah, there's like some points he makes. And I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense.
Hi, editing me here. I kind of go on a tangent here, so I just wanted to clarify. What I'm saying here is that I think that people who aren't upfront about their beliefs and who try to cloak it almost are more dangerous than your outright racist, homophobics. At least with them, you know where you stand, you know what to expect. But I think this idea of kind of microaggressions and embedded racism in a more covert way is what has gotten us to where we are today. It is what has made white people complacent, and what has made white people say to Black people that we've had enough change, there has been change, and they should just accept it, while still touting these microaggressions. This kind of stuff props up white supremacy that continues to benefit white people and hurt Black people. And that's what I think is dangerous about this, is that you know, people will listen to this song and think like, oh, I agree with some parts of it, so if I agree with him on some parts, then his other points are probably correct too, especially because his audience is probably younger people who are more impressionable, especially when you're looking up to artists and stuff. So that's my issue with this, is that I think it's a harmful form of racism, because it's so, you know, as white people, we understand the top of the iceberg. Remember when Black Lives Matter first, you know, picked up pace earlier in 2020, and people were talking about there's the pyramid, there's what you see above the water as racism, and that's what people, you know, respect as racism, but then there's all the stuff underneath that helps prop that up, and I think stuff like this is exactly.
Don't expect Black people to do all the fucking work and then criticize them for not doing enough work to you, white boy. Second of all, stop wanting to be oppressed so fucking bad. Sure, most people who grow up not rich are oppressed in one way or another, but you will never truly know oppression as a straight white man. Like, you just don't. And like, I don't know why you want that so bad. Like, you're profiting off of Black culture, off of hip hop culture, and maybe you should take a step back and respect the people that came before you and respect that you're literally making money off of Black culture while critiquing that culture that you don't understand or take the time to understand. And also, just to clarify, not trying to cancel anybody, not trying to hate on anybody for their political views. Being against Black Lives Matter isn't political. Being against gay rights isn't political. Being sexist isn't political. These are human rights issues. Politics are like what you believe for taxes and healthcare and zoning and government involvement. This is just human rights, but Republicans like to act like it's politics because it makes them feel better to say they're being attacked for their politics as opposed to they're being attacked for being racist or sexist or homophobic. So let me know down below what you guys think now that we've gone through the 2 songs. Do you want to see me do a video on his new song, Cancelled? Give this video a thumbs up if you want to see another video about this. Have you heard of Tom MacDonald before? He's kind of rising on like the up and coming charts now. His songs are getting a lot of views and that's why I wanted to talk about it. But part of me thinks that he's like Trisha Paytas style, just like trolling. Like he just sees what gets him the views and he's going there because like people want money, even though he doesn't believe in rapping about money, even though he has rapped about money. But yeah, let me know down below what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed this style of video and is there anything else you want me to kind of like review or react to. Thank you guys for watching and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.